30 plus miles of gridlock traffic trying to get out of Tampa, Florida.
Y'all, FEMA is at it again. Listen to this. Hurricane Milton reaches Category 5 strength on approach to Florida, y'all. These are messages from somebody in Florida trying to leave. Bro, you have to leave. Roads and bridges are closed. Bro, they gotta usher y'all out. FEMA has closed the waterways. Laugh out loud. What? This is news. There is an evacuation order. Yeah, headed to Port St. Joe, but now FEMA has closed the roads. Bro, post about this. It's a dangerous situation. This is definitely a weird situation. Make a post on Facebook sharing this information. They have removed the local law enforcement. What? I did. Share the details. Well, that didn't last long. It has been deleted. Look, they deleted the post of him trying to tell everybody that FEMA has closed the roads. So not only are they about to get hit with a Category 5 hurricane, FEMA has taken over and closed the roads so that they can't even evacuate. This is mass genocide, y'all. We need to share this and get this information out.
We live in Florida, and y'all know that there's this hurricane that's about to come down here. I want to show you what the water is already doing, and we're what, days away from this? Look at this. It's already up on the sidewalks. That water is usually way lower. There's a good indication by that bench. You see that? I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I would be lying to you if I said that in my heart and in my spirit, things just don't feel right. Walking into the grocery stores, being around people right now, you can just feel it, man. It just feels tense. You can tell right now that people are having a hard time being at peace and feeling comfort when Helene just ripped through Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, and people are still cleaning up and trying to gather themselves with what just happened. And I think what really gets you is the fear of the unknown and the unexpected. I think for us in Florida, what is kind of our weakness is that we go through this year after year. We see hurricane after hurricane, season after season. And so for us, sometimes it's just like, well, this is just another hurricane, just another storm. We'll ride it out. For Floridians, it's like, this is what we do. We ride these storms out. But I don't know, man. Something's different about this year. So I guess from here, we just continue to watch the storm, be mindful, use wisdom, and pray. And if you're in an evacuation zone, get out.
And now you've got a system with a 6-mile wide eye. You remember Helene, as it was intensifying, started with a 50-mile wide eye. So the skater, think of the skater. The tighter when they wrap the arms in, the faster they spin. And that's what's going on with this thing. So here's the other thing. Even if the storm goes to the south of Tampa, which is center point of the cone right now, where do you think that's going with a 70 to 90 mile an hour wind? Anywhere at once. So you have all this debris just sitting here, ready to become projectiles into people's homes,
All right, so giving you guys an update on me. It's a fucking shit show already. Like, I'm not even playing with you. So literally out of nowhere, why my car just wouldn't cut on. The battery went completely dead. So I had to get up early this morning. It was when I tried to take the trash out last night. And something told me not to take the trash out last night. I'm glad that I didn't. But the car stopped me because something was going on last night. I don't know what happened, but I just didn't end up doing it. So I had to call CarMax. They had to come over here, get a tow guy, jump my car, and I got to take it to CarMax to get the battery replaced. Come to find out, my car isn't the only one doing this. They said roadside assistance is going off the hook right now because a lot of people's cars is breaking down right now. The insurance companies is blowing up and going crazy. Something is happening. And I asked her, I said, wait, is it because of the storm? She said, yes, something about the storm is causing cars to break down. They are piled up right now at CarMax. But I'm about to go take my car up there right now. I'm going to give you guys an update on the weather and what's happening as I go. So just pray for me because what the fuck? So I made it to CarMax, guys. I'm here now. And I'm going to change the battery for me. The car did cut on, so that was the good part. My nerves was bad. The Floridians is chilling like, just another day in a hurricane. Girl, I'm freaking the hell out. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys, because somebody had a lot of people have been talking about this solar storm, so I'm going to try to look up some things and see what's going on with this solar storm and stuff like that, because they were saying that it was affecting other people's cars. So please make sure y'all check your generators, check your electronics, check your vehicles and stuff like that to see if you're dealing with the same situation, because this is not the time, especially if we're dealing with this hurricane. So I just saw on my I can't even talk, y'all. My anxiety, y'all, listen, I don't have fight or flight. I have fight or fights. So my anxiety is up right now, for real, especially that I'm away from my child. Like I'm trying to walk and calm down right now before I talk to y'all, because I'm freaking out.
This literally concerns every single human being, and I would really like it if you could stick around, because I have some questions that really do need to be answered. I was tagged in a video today where someone showed the plane flight of an NOAA plane flight during, this is through the hurricane, so we're in Hurricane Milton right now, okay, we're in October. This is Hurricane Milton. This thing did a path around Hurricane Milton. Okay, yeah, but it could be just somebody, you know, they're just traversing it, wanting to look at it. However, I came across something today that it was very kind of disturbing, and it's verifiable because it comes directly from their website. Almost science fiction hurricane modification and Project Stormfury. Okay, y'all have got to listen here, okay? I'm going to read it as fast as I can, but please stick around, okay? The observation and understanding of hurricanes have always been a priority for the National Weather Service. Since its beginnings, the study of tropical cyclones have been at the forefront of its agency's operation, with new technologies offering information on hurricanes over decades of research. In the years between 1962 and 1983, I think that's funny, I was born in 83, the hurricane observation took an enormous step in a direction almost sounds like science fiction: human interference and human modification, known as Project Stormfury. The effort was undertaken by several government agencies. Oh, I hope you're still listening. Project Stormfury sought to weaken tropical cyclones by flying aircraft into the storms and dispersing silver iodine through a process called cloud seeding. Okay, cloud seeding, I'm going to be careful, because you know how the algorithm can be, is a type of weather modification that attempts to alter the process of a cloud or a storm by releasing a substance in the air. Using this seeding, the theory behind Stormfury predicted that the iodide would cause a hurricane supercool water droplets that exist in liquid form temperature below freezing to freeze, thus disrupting the inner structure of the cyclone. To make up for this disruption, the hypothesis formulated the wall of the storm eye would have to reform, thereby decreasing the maximum speeds by up to 30%. Since the amount of damage a hurricane can do relies heavily on the speed of its winds, even the smallest reduction could potentially make a huge difference in protecting lives and property. Therefore, the researchers on Stormfury spent more than 20 years of their work to achieve this goal. The use of this modification to alter a storm was not a new idea. In fact, a weather modification program known as Project Cyrus accomplished the first seeding of a hurricane back in 1947. However, instead of using silver iodide, this project experimented with dry ice as a method of seeding. Despite its ambitious nature, the successful seeding didn't come without consequences. The hurricane, which had initially been tracking west to east and heading out to sea, reversed its path after it was seeded and made landfall in Savannah, Georgia, causing local destruction. That means, because we can't learn to stop with nature, okay, something that would have completely missed us, in fact, turned around and became very devastating to us. These are people who have had control of many things, okay? Just keep listening. Many blame seeding for this disaster, which had a negative effect on political and legal arrangements for future modification efforts. The project was officially canceled, and the embarrassing incident set back seeding research for more than a decade. Oh, wait a minute, so that means they're still doing it. Efforts to explore modification didn't resurface until the mid-1950s. Due to an incredible achievement hurricane season with incredible landfalls, Congress appropriated more money for hurricane research and mandated the establishment of the National Hurricane Research Project, NHRP. The NHRP had four main goals: to study hurricane formation, to study hurricane structure and dynamics, to seek means for forecasting improvement, and to seek means for hurricane modification. This final objective served as the justification for Project Stormfury, which began in earnest. I don't get earnest, but hey, the criteria that a storm had to meet in order to be acceptable for the project were very specific. As a result, only a few hurricanes were actually seeded to qualify. A hurricane had to be less than 10% chance of making landfall within a day. Okay, so let me just put this there, okay? They did this back in the day, okay? They put things into clouds to manipulate them so they know they can do it. By 1983, they officially ended this project, which again, I think is funny because that was the year that I was born. Did they end the project though? They know how to do it. They've done it before, okay? We are now experiencing the craziest unfoldment of a hurricane that looks, I'm telling y'all, God, this looks intentional. I can't explain that, but it does. It looks intentional. And in fact, the way that it is building is mind-blowing. So when I got tagged in this video with this airplane, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just somebody looking over it. But then when you go read back what they have done before, and the fact that if they have the ability to slow it down, why don't they do it? Why don't they, have they done it? I don't know. There was a lady on TikTok, they were talking about, people had saw this lady's video where she was off the coast and she saw planes going into the clouds, but it wasn't like the standard, we're gonna just look planes. They looked different, okay? And then that video disappeared. So like if we weren't here on TikTok talking about this, would we ever know that they could be potentially modifying these things? Not only do we have this thing that has been brewing, this thing, I mean, if you watch this thing, it's been bubbling and brewing. It has been, like, it's almost like somebody's causing this thing to get bigger and bigger, right? And then it has so much potential to grow here, okay? And then it hits here, okay? We just got hit and we almost lost everything from this last hit, but now it's doing it again. And if they can modify it, then why haven't they done anything to make this thing weaker? And in fact, it almost looks like they're making it stronger. So let me just lay a couple things out for you so you guys know who's all here that I know of. Okay, right now you have the Diddy, his island's here. You have the Trump, his place is here. I'm here. A lot of other prominent people are here. And now all of a sudden you have this really crazy storm that looks like it's literally being generated, okay? And it's not science fiction. It's right on their website. If you know where to go read for it, they've done it before. They have the technology to do it. Is this intentional? Because this thing could literally be bigger than a Cat 5. It's a Cat 5 here. It brewed. And you can clearly see the plane track of the NOAA going through it, so we know that they were there, and this thing is growing, and there's even a circulation forming here. So like there is a mass destruction casualty. There's something huge that is brewing, and it's going to be taking aim right at us.
To finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate. We are preparing, and I have the State Emergency Response Team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma. But to that end, I want to go back to our basics. Evacuate if you are in an evacuation zone. If you are not in an evacuation zone and your house was built in conjunction with the Florida Building Code, which pretty much throughout the state of Florida means after 2004, you may be better just to stay in place. If you are dependent on power, you will need to evacuate. If you're dependent on a special set of circumstances, you'll need to evacuate. But if you're not one of those individuals and you're inland, not in an evacuation zone, it may be better for you to just stay in place. I urge Floridians to...
Did anyone else notice the body language of Ron DeSantis yesterday at the Hurricane Milton briefing and how extremely concerned and worried he looks? His body language is justified because just today we have Hurricane Milton upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane, and it seems that it has his eyes directly on Tampa Bay. Now I wonder if Ron DeSantis knows about Project Phoenix, which in 2009 it was developed by the Tampa Bay Catastrophic Plan, Project Phoenix, a plan to address the challenges of response and recovery during a catastrophic event in the Tampa Bay area. So in this plan, Hurricane Phoenix is a fictitious storm, was created to simulate the effects of a worst-case scenario in our region, a direct strike from a Category 5 hurricane, which we have the live action right here with Hurricane Milton. Now you can go to Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council.com and you can learn all about Project Phoenix 2.0. And you can see here a hurricane simulation for Tampa Bay small businesses and emergency management agencies. What if a Category 5 hurricane struck the Tampa Bay region? How would the event unfold, and what would the region look like in the aftermath of the storm? Does anybody else find it interesting how the current administration ran on the motto, Build Back Better? So that is just a side issue. But again, this entire thing right here, Project Phoenix, is a simulation that they ran in 2009 on what they would do in case a Category 5 hurricane directly impacted Tampa Bay. And when you check out this website and this simulated Hurricane Phoenix, the simulation is almost identical to Hurricane Milton. The only difference is instead of coming from over here, it comes more by the Caribbean area, but the idea of it forming so quickly and turning into a Category 5 that directly impacts Tampa is exactly what Project Phoenix 2.0 ran. Now, to those who have seen my content before, you understand the Phoenix symbolism. In the occult, it is the idea of order out of chaos. The Phoenix shall rise from the ashes. And we are presently living in this age of chaos where order shall come out of it. The Phoenix shall rise from the ashes of the old world, going into the new age of Aquarius, or the new world. And sadly, things like this are going to continue to increase because these are the birth pains of the end times. And I find it coincidental, to say the least, that we have this Phoenix symbolism here involved with a Category 5 hurricane directly impacting Tampa Bay. We can see across the globe with North Carolina, Tennessee, we had Maui, we have Ukraine, we have the Middle East, Syria, Gaza, right? The destruction of these areas will soon be rebuilt, okay? Like that's going to happen, and that will be the Phoenix rising from the ashes, per se, of this old world. I just found it interesting. Again, do what you want with this information. Just found it very interesting. Again, 2009, a Category 5 hurricane directly impacting Tampa Bay called Project Phoenix. So with that, guys, cling to the Lord like never before.
Hell no. Come on, wait to the no, no, no. Come on, come on. Hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Come on. Hell no, no, to the no, no, to the no, 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 to the no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no, hell to the no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, 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 no.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. We got 3 hours until high tide, and we're checking in on Lieutenant Dan. His boat has risen a little. Dan! Lieutenant Dan! Are you in there? There he is! Dan! We need an interview. There he is. There's our guy. Yup, look at him! Yay! How we doing? Give the people an update.
So far, so good. We're staying on this side of the pole, but it's actually still low tide. If you can believe that.
He says it's still low tide when it's in 3 hours high tide, but his boat is on the concrete. What do you guys say to do? Everyone's guys. But he doesn't ask for more. It's calm seas.
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great, man.
Watch your step, yo.
I know, right? Look at this setup he's got. He might end up in the parking lot of Publix in a few hours.
I'm not trained to go over there. I'm trained to stand confidently right here.
There's nobody in danger here.
And even if there were, I'm not trained to save them.